Calling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now here's your hosts, Gonzo, Nerd, and Mizzy.
Welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
I'm Mizzy.
Today's episode is episode 322. We're going to be talking about painting outside of our comfort zone, trying new techniques, and all-around shenanigans here on the channel. But before we do that, we got to get to our sponsors. We want to thank Creature Caster for providing us with awesome miniatures and an awesome game. If you haven't played Judgment yet, make sure you go get Judgment Eternal Champions and check them out. They have cool miniatures to go along with the game. Also, we want to thank Turbo Dork, which I had used some of their paints on my new N5 Infinity models. You'll see that tonight on the podcast, and going to try some different techniques with that, aka the reason why we're doing something outside of the box. And then want to thank Cuttlefish Colors for providing us with awesome paints made for, not necessarily made for sketching and glaze, but that's the easiest and best way to talk about how they're used. Be good to, if you're using whatever it is possible. But we want to thank everybody. Guys, if you're listening to us, we have always have a lot of other channels that are on our podcast, not only us. We have the Blightbringers, which is a strictly dedicated podcast dedicated strictly to War Machine, more around the competitive scene, but talking about all aspects of War Machine. We have the Tried and True guys, which if you haven't met the Tried and True people that are up in the New England area, they're amazing people that are very, very community centric. They do a lot of cool things for their community and for just War Machine in general. And we have Build, Paint, Play that are on here also. And if you haven't heard those guys, they're a variety show like us, but have a much larger audience. So they kind of hang out. They want us to kind of put their stuff out so they can get it everywhere possible. It's Dave Taylor and them going off on different tangents. Please listen to their stuff. They get like really big names on their channel so you can hear stuff. Recently they brought the guys on that were doing Trench Crusade, and if you are anywhere in the community, Trench Crusade is a game that got kickstarted and it reached over $3.5 million in its funding goals. I think it was only like supposed to get like maybe like 20,000 or something, so it got pretty hard. I did buy some digital files for the game so I can 3D print the miniatures that I want. Bought 2 different factions. When those files get released, Mizzy and I will play the game and show it off and talk about it. So that'll be really good. And Nerd, you got to speak like a Valley Girl for the next 30 minutes.
Oh my God! How dare you?
Mizzy, you're in charge of keeping track how long that.
Can I also be in charge of the fact that you forgot one of our people?
Dude, I forget.
Boker Brawl.
Oh yeah, we haven't got there yet.
You forgot Seth. How dare you?
I haven't forgot him. I saw that. The Boker broadcast, by the way, which is Seth Cohen and his where he has his team talks about War Machine in general, and any types of things that comes up. And if you're in that area, you make sure you go to the Boker Brawl, where you can play some really good War Machine and other games there. So we may have some couple of more. Yeah. We may have some other podcasts come in, but this is the reason why we have a podcast network, so we can bring other shows in. If you have a show that you want put on our network, we do not charge if you are just giving us the file. But if you're wanting us to store the file or host it somewhere, there's a small fee. But if you just want us to link it and put it somewhere, we're more than happy to get a better view on your stuff. So. Other than that, Nerd, what are you drinking tonight?
Zero sugar cherry 7-Up.
Is that what a
Oof.
Valley girl would drink?
Yeah, like totally the best. No
Because
sugar. It's like good for you almost.
I'm guessing it's probably got saccharin as the other sweetener in it, probably.
Sucralose.
Oh,
No, this one's aspartame, which is not as good, but I'm dealing with it.
which would definitely give you the shits later. So,
Quite you.
Missy, what are you drinking tonight?
I have a new flavor that I'm trying tonight of the sparkling ice, and it is winter punch.
And
Found
How's
it at
that?
I found it at Aldi today, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try, see how it tastes. It is a lot better than the apple cider that I tried of 2 sips and said, absolutely not.
did you pass that over to your other half over there?
Most likely, yes. It is sitting in the fridge waiting for somebody else to claim it because it won't be me.
I am doing the good old fashioned water. Got a little bit of a runny nose going on right now. Our work, there's a fight over the heater at our work, and so we're getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, constantly, all the time, no steady temperature. So it's causing a little congestion and such. So I'm gonna be drinking just water.
Don't they know
Um,
we ain't got time for that?
Nobody has time for that shit. Do we have any shout outs this week?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
I don't
I don't
remember us
remember.
mentioning anything.
No, don't believe so either. So, guys, please take care of yourself. Please look after each other. Like it always says, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. If you can do something, do something. If you can't, find someone that will, because we're gonna have to look after each other harder than we've ever done before. Cheers.
Facts. Cheers.
Yes. Thankfully, I got some practice talking like a Valley girl this week because I got to play in my friend's D&D campaign where this is basically the voice that I have to use for my character like the entire time.
I love that for you.
Tara.
Who else
Okay.
are we gonna blame?
It's true. Tara, we love you. You bitch.
Affectionately. It's like when we tell Slade to get fucked.
Yeah.
Affectionately.
Exactly. Get
Um,
fucked, Slade.
So these are the bases. I found these online. I can't remember who did it, but these are the bases that I'm going to use for Trench Crusade, and they're just trenches.
Yes, Archivist. Sometimes I do because this is like the kind of thing I used to make fun of all the time when I was younger. But now it's kind of amusing because like it's an easy voice to do and it doesn't hurt my vocal cords unlike some other accents and it's an easy one to keep up.
Unlike Mr.
But
Cloud.
also welcome first time chatter. Hi.
So
Those are cool.
Nice bass.
So, and then I've got one model that uses this weird oblong, but I printed enough
Leave
for
that on
just
the
for the
list.
models. I haven't built the list yet to see how many of what, because there's some models that are a must use in the army, and then there's some that are you don't have to use, and then there's, only a maximum. So, which is going to be interesting on how to build the army lists. This is the model I'm going to be painting on today. I can't remember who it's from or where I got it. My manufacturer is where I got it.
Gotta keep track of those things. Jeez.
So
I'll like write
I
it down or something.
primed it gray and then just dry brushed it white just so I can do the slap chop method of painting on these guys. But I did
Oh,
want
you
to show.
prime it gray to do that? I always thought it was black to gray or black to white.
I do
So
it gray.
So
That
you
makes
can do
sense.
either. The answer is both in this case.
Okay.
And then did do the colors on this model. All I did was prime it black and then um, airbrushed it with the red Turbo Dark Red Rum, and then I no oil washed it. And I'm thinking about dry brushing it up a little bit so we can get a little bit better, glisten on it.
Do it. Make it glisten.
Totally. Yeah, that's so shiny. Oh my god.
That is a red metallic. Turbo Dork has amazing metallics.
Yes, it
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
they
red
do.
metallic. I just did an all over, and then I'll go through and touch up and paint up because the armor will be red metallic, but I will go into the insides and parts and paint them up, and then touch certain parts that will not have the red metallic in it. Like if you like right in here, these little. Let me swing. Yeah. So this
Look at
part
them
right
booty
here
cheeks.
is like a
Hey,
coiled, muscle, and I'll paint those black and then dry brush them up and everything. But they'll just be different things that are coming up. Projects that I'm working on. I did finish while we were over the week. Did finish the bulwark, and they are painted up and ready to go
Ew,
for the
that
table.
looks way cool.
shiny.
Yeah, very shiny. Archivist would like to know, is that an Infinity model, the one that you had up previously that were showing butt cheeks?
Yes, that is the 3 models from the Essentials box from the new N5 starter. It comes with the Essential box comes with 6 models, 3 for Pano, 3 for JSA, some terrain, a mat, and quick start rules to learn how to play N5 version of Infinity.
And then the
Nice.
bulwarks are from Warcrow, also by Corvus Belly.
Correctamundo. All right, so one of the things I'm going to have to do is I'm going to be painting, and I have to figure out what paint I'm going to be using. So for people that weren't in the pre-ramble, I was able to get a hold of the entire Speed Paint 2.0 sets, and it's all sitting right here. And so I'm going to be trying this. I've never done the slap chop method or whatever. But this model right here, a lot of people paint this guy like he's got like no skin, so they treat it like muscle. But I think this stuff to me, let me get that in focus, looks like wood. And so I'm going to treat this guy like he's made out of wood. And then he's got like these little diamonds on him. I'm going to probably paint those red just to kind of make them like gems or whatever. But I'm kind of going with that. I'm going to do, of course, his
Nice.
cloak. I'm going to do these cloaks purple, just to make it a good, different, contrasting color. But we're going to do it all in speed paint with a little bit of just normal acrylics. I've never done this. I've never done this slap chop method or any of that type of things, but I wanted to try this out. And see
Meanwhile, you have me, who
yeah.
exclusively paints in speed paints.
All right, so the first color I'm going to use, which is going to be pretty much his all over color, is going to be this dark wood. For people that like to know what the color of the paint is without having to go by this weird thing, they did put in on the corners, it's a deep brown.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, hell yeah.
makes it a whole lot easier for people to recognize and see what it is and so on and so forth. What I'm really kind of looking forward to is the speed paint metallics. I'm not going to do a lot of metallics on this. I'm going to do it on the bottom of the base and then the gauntlets and these little like breast, circles or whatever they are on the front and back. Those I'm going to use the new speed paint metallics. I'm really looking forward to using those more than anything.
I actually don't have that dark brown color. I have a satchel brown that is a very dark brown.
Well, this is like really, 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 really dark. It kind of made a mess coming out of the bottle. Shaking it.
You do have to be careful with them, yes.
So, you have the satchel brown?
Yes, I have satchel brown.
That
That is
is
the-
the paint I'm going to use to highlight up with it, or maybe the dusk red. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe the burnished red. So,
I don't have either of those, so I could not tell you which one.
so
Good luck.
one of the techniques that they're telling people to do now is to paint the model like you would normally do in a little slap chop method, and then um, letting it dry and doing another dry brushing of white over it, and um, doing another like a highlight color on top of that. And when you do the second dry brushing of it, you are just hitting like the highlighted, big parts. You use a big dry brush whenever you do that. I don't like that brush.
Brush, Gonzo. You have them.
I have plenty. So, let's start on the legs.
Yeah.
I don't like this brush either. But I have used contrast paint before, just never did, the slap chop method of painting, I guess you could say. So, gonna work on that. Nerd, what are some strange and interesting new techniques that you've been using?
I tend to paint in a very like cell shaded animation style, which is something I've kind of picked up in the last year or so. Um, I've never done slap chop. I tend to work very much in like triads, so like speed paints don't like I understand how they work, but like in terms of my style, they don't make sense to me. But like non-metallic metal is one that I really want to learn to do.
Okay. Mizzy, you have been strictly painting
And speed paints.
in speed
Yes.
paints for most of your port, and you use other paints with it. Of course, you do the whole using other paints on there to get details
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So something that I was playing around with before I got the full set of, or I'm not the full set, but like the mega set that we got sent, for me to test out and review and all that good stuff is, I had the 1.0 speed paints, which I really enjoyed. A lot of people didn't like them because they would reactivate, but I really like that feature because it was able to like erase it and then you were able to blend it a little bit better. And you had more time to work with it. But to get more colors out of that limited selection, what I would do is I would take some army paint or regular paints and then put that down and then use the speed paints as like an uber wash and still get that effect,
Okay.
which I thought was really cool. So like all the barnacles and stuff, I liked how the pallid bone mixed with skeleton bone worked, because it was able to give it that nice all over beige color, but then with the pallid bone speed paint, you're able to get those darker recesses, but then still have that pop.
Nice. Okay. Maybe maybe one of these times we'll have to like sit down and you can like teach me how to use speed paints properly because I have speed paints 1.0.
You fuck around and find out.
That's kind of the purpose of all of this because Nerd, I know that for a fact you have plenty of miniatures you can use, so you're not out of,
Oh, I'm fully aware. I know I've got a ton of minis. That's why I'm telling people to quit giving me minis or buying me
No.
minis. I'm like, no more minis. Like, you guys are allowed to because I know that those are already coming. Those have been, but like after that, I was just like, because it's holidays, I'm like, no minis. I am running out of storage. Hi, Midnight Heroes. Welcome in.
Hey,
I
Midnight Heroes.
apologize for this voice. It's a redeem.
Minis for Nerd and dice for V. Absolutely, Slade.
A redeem? It's a channel point redeem. They're making me do this. This was not my choice.
Somebody
Again,
redeemed her Talk Like a Valley Girl, and so she has to talk like a Valley Girl for
yeah,
30 minutes.
which is you currently have 9 minutes and 40 seconds left.
I'm fully aware. I've been looking at the clock.
I have a
This
timer
is-
for you. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you. We're like besties.
Yes. We do good stuff. Fun stuff.
Now-
Yes.
I have used AK contrast speed paints before, and I have done a model in that style before this, so this is not the first time I've used it. It's just the first time I've done a slap chop style method with the painting. And for the most part, I'm not seeing a major change, but I probably will do like Nerd was saying and do a black with a white dry brushing, so it maybe contrasts a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It also depends on how vibrant you want your colors too. With black, you get those really deep darks, and then with the grays, it's a little bit you don't get it as deep. Slap chop is easy, is what I would say. Midnight Heroes. It's really good for people who just starting out and who don't have a whole lot of skills at their disposal. You know, because all you really gotta do is know how to dry brush and then slap some paint on there and you're done. So, do with that what you will.
Maybe I'll try it out this Friday for Friday the 13th and just do something different for once, but I really need to finish this flipping dragon.
You really need to finish that dragon, yeah.
Yeah, how long have you been working on that
Yes.
dragon?
3 weeks. And it's probably going to take me at least 2 more to finish it. But most of it was just the scale work. The feathers are going to not take quite as long, hopefully, but we'll figure that out when I come to it.
It's gonna be okay. You got this. I believe in you. I will be your hype person. I got you.
I don't have to get it done like exactly on Christmas, but close. I need to get it before to my roommate like before she goes sees her mom.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Yeah, so I mean that was the whole point of me trying this out, because I was like,
Mhm.
I've never done. I've painted with speed paints before. There is no problems with that. So one of the things you have to look out for speed paints is if you don't get it in the crevices or you don't get it to stain right, you could miss a little bubble or a little spot, and so you've got to just be careful with it. You got to make sure.
I found some spots that I have to do some touch ups on my Abyssal King. But that's what happens when you speed paint it in 2 days before Warfare Weekend. You miss
yeah.
spots.
Yeah.
But damn, it looked pretty on the table.
Yeah,
I bet it did.
and so you just got to be careful with it. So, and they'll dry pretty quick. It's not like it's going to take forever to dry. It's just this is the whole process you have to go through to get it done. And
Yeah.
such.
The 2.0 paints, they dry super quick too. Like if you want to do like any kind of blending, you have to do it like right then with the other colors. Otherwise, you're not going to get that blend that you want.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. For me, I feel like that's a little too dark.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, how do you make it like lighter? Is it just supposed to be like the high contrast that's supposed to just create it, or like?
Well, it is a little dark. This is a much darker than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is a dark wood, but that's kind of what's going to be happening with this. Is I will be dry brushing over it again just to give it more highlights after it. There's like a big debate on what to call that double slap chop, chop, chop. There's like this whole who's trying to brand it the quickest type thing. And I'm like, who cares?
Slip slap.
Yeah. Crap chop.
Salad spinner. Wait, no, that's not how this works.
I
I thought we were just
prefer-
naming kitchen gadgets.
I personally prefer half-ass zenithal and then throw paint on it.
Yeah.
All right. So since I got that on there, and see, I'm actually finding spots where this brown has pulled away and has left a little bit of white spots on it. So I'm trying to get that in there. That's one of the things that I found is that, the paint will move away on there and it'll actually leave like little bitty white spots. And
Oh
so,
no.
so that's what Mizzy and I were talking about is that you'll find you're like, shit, how did I miss that? There was paint on that.
Oh.
So
So Midnight Heroes, the Valley Gore Redemption is redeemable for more than one a stream if you
Why
so
do you have to tell
desire.
them that?
Because I play devil's advocate. If I'm going to encourage them to make Gonzo wear ears, I gotta encourage them to make you talk like a Valley girl.
Then we
That's
need
how
to
this
punish
works.
you in some way. We need to find a redeem that punishes you. No, I'm
We'll
kidding.
see.
You got glam.
I punish myself all the time anyway. Thank you.
all right, so I'm just going to do the legs for now.
Thank
We're
you,
going to let
Shadow
that
Sword.
dry. And once we let that dry, then we will do the second part of that, which is the second slop chopping blah 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 technique. But before we do that, we're going to bring the infinity models in.
So show us the pretty things.
Yas.
And so what I want to do with this is I've never dry brushed. Of course, this is all from our sponsors of Turbo Dork. We're going to use the red rum, and that's pretty much what it is. It is a very bright red metallic. I love airbrushing with this stuff because you don't need to thin it down or anything. It just goes straight on with the airbrush and really quickly and really easily.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. So I've never dry brushed with their stuff, but we will do that now.
I was gonna ask
I've never
you,
even considered dry brushing with it, but it makes sense.
talk to Gonzo, Midnight Heroes.
Yeah, Gonzo makes that. Yeah, Gonzo is in charge of that stuff.
Yes.
Gonzo's not in charge of shit.
Gonzo's the project manager. That makes him in charge.
Shit.
Mhm.
He's also the oldest. That makes him in charge. He's the adultiest adult.
He has seniority. He's
That
also
part.
been on here the longest.
True facts.
All right, so what I did with this is I airbrushed the red and then I no oil washed it because I wanted it to get darker in the recesses. So I'm going to take and I'm going to try to dry brush this. I've never dry brushed with this, so we're going to have to see. I'm going to actually leave a decent amount on there and see what happens, and see if it kind of highlights it up some. Because I don't want it to be dark red. I want it to be dark in the creases, but red on the body. So we're going to go just a little bit more. This paint is very, very watery. So you can't dry brush a lot. You can't get a lot of it off of the brush, or it just won't, be there when you try to dry brush it. But it's definitely actually it's doing really good. I'm really impressed. I'm using a small dry brush, not a big one, because this miniature is small beyond belief. If you haven't played Infinity or don't know, Infinity models are much smaller in size. Not bad or anything, just smaller in size than anything. To give you a prime example, here is a Warcrow model, which is their newest. And then here is a War Machine model. Very
Easy
thin.
focus.
Yeah.
Your
No,
30 minutes is up
Yes. Thank you.
for now.
For now. But the one thing about this metallic paint is you cannot seal your model once you've got it on there. If you seal the model with dull coat or shiny coat or any other type of sealant, it will dull the metal down and pretty much ruin the metallic look that I'm going for. I'm going for a
That
bright,
makes-
shiny metallic.
You want the crow brains to be active, is what
Yeah,
I'm hearing.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I want these, and it kind of fits. So my original paint scheme with my Pano was going to be red to begin with, but I was going to do it a contrast red. But I was like, I did it, and I did one model, and I didn't care for it as much. So I decided to let's go with Turbo Dark. For people that don't know, my Warcrow models, I painted them a color shifting blue. It was called Cool Ranch, and it color shifted blue to purple, and they turned out really, really well. So,
You mean your Warcaster?
what did I say? Warcrow?
You said Warcrow.
Yeah, Warcast. My Warcaster.
All the war
model.
games, okay?
Yeah, I got all the war games, but it went from color shifting from blue to purple, and that turned out really, really well. And I did a test model, and yeah, once you seal it, it ruins it pretty much. It ruined the look that I was going for, which was shiny metallic, and the color shifting will go away if you don't use it correctly.
Have you tried sealing with a gloss shadow sword?
I have,
Really
and it
helps.
still dulls it out some. Um, so it does take away from some of the shine, which kind of sucks. Um, and luckily, my army is not going to be a huge one. Although I have all my Pano models over there waiting to be painted. I'm just waiting for the new rule set to see what I can and can't play, or I don't know if the points value have changed, so that way I can see, this is what I've got.
Prioritize your paint list.
Yeah, because I'll have to have, I'll need someone to help me with it. I'm sure that their army builder is going to do just, fine. There's not going to be any issues. I do have to have one model is mandatory in my list, so I have to make sure that's in it. Is that over there? It is one of my beefy boys. Yeah, hold on. It is this model right here. And what it is, it's a guy inside of a mech suit.
Is that your tag?
And it's not a tag, because you can see you got his arm right here, and then this is his actual arm.
Okay.
So, and I did paint this at one point red, and I didn't like it, so I just resealed it, and we're gonna do it with the metallic red. So
It's gonna be great.
it'll be
It's gonna be shiny
fun.
and pretty.
Yeah, it'll be the shiny red instead of the dull red type thing.
Currently still metal.
Yeah, that was they haven't changed the material yet on the Infinity. Not all of them. Some things they have, some things they haven't, which is interesting. All right. This looks like it is dried. Not coming off on my hand. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the big brush. Oh, big dry brush. Get my white. And we're going to dry brush over the legs. And do this, secondary slap chopping technique type stuff. So, and you're supposed to like just hit it the very top highlights. That's the reason why they suggest using a bigger dry brush than what you did with your original. And you're supposed to dry brush over it again. but this time just hitting.
Oh, interesting. I see what you're doing.
Mhm.
And then you're supposed to use a complementary color on top of it, like another brown or another, uh, just another complementary color. Like if you were doing green, I would probably do a yellow on top of it if I was doing like orc flesh or something,
Yeah.
just to do something a little bit different. Because you're just building up the colors on here is what you're doing again.
Could probably even do like what I was talking about is like do that first initial and then dry brush it with a regular color other than white and then do like an uber wash still.
Well, and that's the thing that they were trying to do is they're trying to like do another dry brush and then
Then I have to play with it.
yeah. And then definitely they said hit it hard on like the really, really big parts that you want to stick out more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like I'm just hitting like the places I want to really have this stick out even more. So like just the highlighted parts of the bodies.
In this case you're gonna do another speed paint, right?
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just going to do another speed paint. I'm going to take a lighter brown, which we use dark wood, and we're going to try a different. So we've got this. Hey, look, light brown. We use deep brown first, and I went to the very end of the spectrum and tried light brown now. Let's give that a good double shake.
The color I don't have.
You could do another wash or another speed paint over it. The speed paint just makes it so it's a lot easier to work with than just a wash, and it stains a lot better too. By the way, um,
Especially with the 2.0s that they've got some high quality staining power on there.
we're gonna go and shake that up. Come on, shake, shake, shake.
They're basically the same.
Yeah. Midnight Heroes ask, are contrast paints and speed paints the same? Basically the same. Speed paint has more colors and is at a cheaper price than if you were to buy all the GW contrast paints.
They're more accessible.
Yeah.
'Cause
Frankie
they know
asked,
about
what
that.
is some advice for someone getting into painting models and miniatures? Um, I would say for someone getting into it, are you getting into it are you like playing a game? Or are you just want to paint miniatures, period, because this looks cool to you? If you're going to be painting for like a game, go buy the games and, buy the paints and you can have some fun. And Frankie says, faux fun.
All the
Um,
ones.
just if you have a 3D printer, go crazy because you will have so many things to paint. Um, and it's all different types. For anybody that doesn't know, I own speed paints, the entire set of Cuttlefish colors, all scale 75, Duncan Rhodes. I own so many freaking paints and I use them all in different ways. So that's the kicker is finding out how you want to use them and what you want to do. All right, so I'm kind of curious. I'm going to stretch this out. Yeah, this is a very light brown. So
Really helped me starting out was just watching other people paint and then taking their ideas and then combining it to how I thought that it would work for me. So like with the slap chop or whatever, you've got just some basic dry brushing, and then like what Gonzo's doing, you just slap some paint on there and call it done. Or you could go a little bit further and do some more dry brushing. And then you've got your edge highlighting and all kinds of fancy things that you could do, but I ain't got time for that or the attention span. That's the
Um,
thing.
one of the techniques for people that don't know, or one of the things that I really like, is talking to my good friend Charles, and he does painting stuff for Steamforged games, and does the little tutorials and everything. And if the miniature looks good from 3 feet away, you're golden. Let it
Oh,
go. Unless you're doing like a competition paint or something of that nature, why are you going to put that much detail into it if you just want something that looks nice while you're playing, or nice when you're whatever reason?
Hmm.
Don't push yourself, don't threaten yourself, don't make yourself go crazy, because if you're not doing it for a competition, you're just doing it to have them look cool. How many times are you going to get up and go and look at it super super close, like, oh my god, I missed that one butt hair on his on his backside. I better I got to repaint the whole thing and bring out the triad of 75 colors to get that right.
and ever since he brought that up and I actually listened to it, I was like, okay, yeah, I can accept that I'm a decent painter and I'm not absolute trash.
Yeah,
It
because I
looks
mean,
good from 3 feet away. I'm happy with that.
yeah, because if you're just going to be putting it on your shelf, or you're playing it in a game, or you want to do your D&D character, 3 feet away is just fine. If you want to get into competition painting, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Or if you're painting something for display, depending on, yeah, like to me, competition and display painting is like closer than tabletop ready. Because tabletop ready is going to be that looking good from the 3 feet away kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then display is like the next step up, and then there's competition. That's kind of how I mentally put it. But yeah.
Don't.
But yeah, Frankie asked if we have some advice for someone getting into painting models or minis.
Do it for the fun. Don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy. If anybody tells you you're doing it wrong, you tell them to shut up. They're doing it
And
wrong.
even if, like, have fun, paint, keep going. Even if it's like your first work is never going to be your best work. You are going to continue to improve. Yeah. Clean your brushes. If that's something you didn't already know, make sure to clean your brushes. Clean your brushes when you're done. Never store your brushes upside down.
Don't lick your brush.
Don't what?
Don't lick your brush.
Yeah. Don't be a brush licker. It's not good for you. Paint is not tasty.
Don't drink
It's
your
not
paint
good for
water.
you. Yeah, don't drink your paint water. Keep your drinks in a covered container. In a lidded container.
Or a straw.
Yeah. Prime example, because I've accidentally rinsed my brush in my drink when I
Oh
had
yeah.
it in just a cup.
I have almost done that, yeah.
Oh yeah. Plenty of times.
Because I had fresh paint water, and I had a mason jar of sparkling water, and I rinsed my brush in the sparkling water, and it went, well. Never store your paints at adverse temperatures.
They will freeze.
They will freeze. They will also go bad if you leave them out in extreme heat. I
need the
highly
cold.
recommend investing in a wet palette. my personal favorite is Game Envy. But like Masters makes one you can get from like Amazon or like a Michaels or something. You can also make one out of parchment paper and a sponge and a Tupperware container.
I have done that. That was my first
Yeah.
wet palette. Wasn't terrible, but I love that. I
Yeah.
love that Game Envy
It's not a
palette.
bad way to start. Um, Try out a couple of different paint lines. Figure out what paints you like. Vallejo are a really, really good like starter, like kind of entry level paint that is cheaper than some others. But Reaper, I love Reaper paints, Reaper Master Series paints. Um, uh, c- yeah, like I would say something like Cuttlefish, which is a sketch and glaze system, is a little more advanced than what a beginner would start with. But yeah, there's a lot of like look up different kinds of paint methods, like the slap chop and that kind of stuff, like what Gonzo's doing here. Talk to other painters.
Watch some painting channels if you want to see some
Yeah,
really cool stuff. I mean, a lot of people are starting to paint with oils.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's like because that's really good
With
for blending and all that other stuff. So there's a lot of
Lapelius
people.
and Matt Yee are the two that I know that paint oils the most on
I,
Twitch.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, if you want to watch a master do magic
Oils.
in oils,
Lapelius.
then
Yeah.
Lapillus.
Yeah,
Because that man, holy shit.
yeah. James does
I've also
amazing
seen
work.
the speed at which he can do OSL with acrylics, and it's ridiculous.
Oh, he's insane.
He's a fucking wizard. Cannot argue with me. That man is magic.
Hmm.
All right, I'm going to do a quick drying of this because I want to do it. Keep a hair dryer near
Right.
you.
Yeah. If you want things to dry fast, hair dryer. That's a thing.
I want to try something else.
So, what would you recommend as a good beginner set of acrylics
Um,
for you?
the Army Painter, they have great starter sets. Most
I
all the
do
other
agree with that.
paints don't have like a good starter set. They're more like, here's our entire line, or here's, a triad of colors.
Hmm.
Here's all of our blues, here's all of our reds, here's all of our, oranges, so on and so forth. But
You don't
Army
have to have
Painter,
an obscene amount of paints to
yeah,
get what you want done.
no, you don't have to be like Gonzo.
Or
Um,
Mizzy because of Gonzo.
do that. Army Painter, and there's nothing wrong with Army Painter paints. Their acrylics are fine. Their new line is really good. It's just that there's a lot of people it's almost an oversaturated market now.
Yeah.
Frankie, Army Painter normal paints. They're whether Fanatic or Warpaint or whatever. Their
Yeah,
starter sets are really good.
Fanatics.
They've got a good starter set if you want to do that. So I wanted to do one more thing. I'm going to do another dry brush on top of that, but I wanted to get it on here and get.
War Paints Fanatics is what they're actually called.
Hmm. Hmm.
There we go. Weird words. Can do words.
Yeah, they're a good solid good paint,
Hmm.
and nothing wrong with the paint either.
Yeah, so their basic starter set, you get 11 paints for $40 and a free brush. Ooh, and a wash. That's cool. Anyway, yeah. Um,
So that's a good place to go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And then if you want to buy like a whole set, buy the whole set. If you got money to buy the whole set, buy the whole set. Okay, so I did a
the
third.
Army Painter. There you go, Frankie. I got you.
Yeah, the Army Painter. Okay, so I want to try a very, very light style orangey brown.
Oh,
Fire Drake. It's a brownish orange. Ha ha!
yeah. That's
So
actually the one that I was going to recommend.
yeah, Fire Drake, orangish brown, brownish orange. That's what I was looking for. Looking for it's got a little bit of orange color to it, but it's got some brown into it. Which a lot of people are starting to do this, by the way. That hey, Fire Drake. What is Fire Drake? It's an orangish, it's a brownish orange. Good. That's what I need. It helps me figure out if the paints don't come in as a tricolor system or whatever. Doing this is the next best thing.
Yeah, if yeah. After a while, depending on how much painting you're doing, like if you're doing like entire armies and spending hours and hours painting, invest in a vortex mixer.
Oh yeah.
You can get one for as cheap as like $30 on Amazon.
That's a
They're
tank of
they're
gas for me, nerd.
hmm,
$30 is a tank of gas for me.
I'm fully aware. I'm saying compared, like you can get it for like around $30, or you can pay upwards of like 100 plus.
Oh yeah. There's some that are like, stupid expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like. Compared to some of the vortex mixers you might see, you can get one for about $30, $30 to $40. They might be listed under like tattoo mixers because they're
Yeah.
used for like tattoo pigments.
Or nail.
I keep slipping back into the Valley Girl. Damn it, you guys.
Yeah, and you could also you can also find them under like the nail salon stuff too. So that's another thing because that's kind of what some people would use them for.
They're especially fun if you glue googly eyes to them, and then the googly eyes shake around when you vortex your paints.
Yep.
Just if you need a little bit of extra dopamine in a day, it's a great way to do it.
Googly eyes.
So the orangey brown is working better than the other brown that I liked.
Mm-hmm. Fire is a really solid color. It's one that I reach for sure. And then also Ruddy Fur is a really good color for like ropes and stuff if you want like a lighter brown.
Yeah, because
it's categorized as a deep reddish brown, but the red makes it nice.
yeah, there is a little bit of controversy going on, and we have to I want to say this because I want people to be aware of some of the shitty people out there that people are getting on to people that are slap chopping like you're not a true painter, and I'm like, shut your fucking mouth.
I paint for joy.
Yeah.
And I ain't got time for your negativity.
Yeah, there was a big controversy. There's a couple of people. There was a major YouTuber that was talking about this technique and such, and was doing it, and they were getting like, "Why are you teaching people this? It stunts your painting techniques." People, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you know what he's doing? He's making it accessible for everybody.
Yup.
It's a lot brighter on camera than it is in person, by the way, for some reason.
Yeah, and then it's also because it's still wet. Once it dries, it does dull down a bit.
Yeah.
But and the whole thing is, who cares how you paint your miniatures? Are you
Exactly.
having fun with it? Are you just are you doing it? Like I says, if you're doing something for a painting competition, the judges will know that this is a contrast, speed paint type thing. They'll know that. But I'm not doing this for a competition. I'm doing this just because I want to test out this technique. And my Warcrow elves, when those start to release, I'm going to be painting them strictly in speed paint, because I actually have something coming in that's going to help me figure out color schemes that I'm going to be using
Ooh.
for it.
Oh.
Yep, I bought myself another little gift. In other words, I just bought me something.
Damn it, Gonzo, it's Christmas. You're supposed to be making a list.
I did make a list.
Hey.
But
Mhm,
this,
sure.
That's why it's so hard to shop for you. You just buy what you want.
My husband's the same way. What the heck?
Can't have nice things, man.
I have plenty of nice things.
We can't give you nice things because you buy the nice things for yourself.
That's true.
Mhm.
True.
Jerk.
Okay, so I've got that, and now what I want to do is I want to put this back. One of my things is to make sure I put paints back. Like, I don't care on this model how, the colors are going to look and all this other stuff, or keeping track of what colors I'm using. But whenever I start to do a painting of my models, I'm going to do a little paint palette and go, this color is this color is this is what I'm using. That way, whenever I do my army for my elves, I have, what I'm going to be doing. So what I want to do is I want to take the Scale 75 Oroco or whatever it is. It's a beige brown, pretty much.
Okay.
And I want to do a stippling on it. But if you're just painting just for fun, go for it. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Do what makes you happy. And if somebody tells you that you're not doing it right, you can tell them that I said to fuck off.
What she said. I seconded.
That part.
Don't like the way that brush is going to work. So
Ooh.
let's use this.
I'm looking at your list.
I have a new list that you haven't released yet. That's an old list. Don't use
Release
that
the
list.
Kraken!
I'm looking at the new list.
I didn't give you the new list yet.
Well, that's helpful. Thank you. Makes a list, but doesn't share it with the people who needs to have the list. Good job, Gonzo.
It's because I haven't finished the list. What was one of the things on the list, or did I share it?
The matte red D&D metal dice with
I
the
guess I did.
sakura flowers.
I guess I did share that list.
You shared it with nothing on it, but then I just clicked on it and there are things on it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if is this showing up, this little light brown highlight? Hold on, I may have to get closer.
I wasn't paying attention. Where'd you paint it? Kinda.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Because it's just light stippling. Just to give a little bit of highlight on it, too. What time is it? Oh, we're actually done.
It is 7:59.
So, and the thing is I'm gonna tell you right now, if you own a 3D printer, you have minis for days, and you don't ever have to worry. If you have a resin 3D printer, you will never have to worry about, oh, I don't have a model I can test miniature, test paint on. Yeah, you can, because
Go nuts, have fun.
yeah, you won't have to worry about that shit forever. So, all right. Oh yeah, I love my resin 3D printer. So, all right, put that down. We're gonna switch over to the media section.
I feel like by proxy, I have a resin printer because of Gonzo.
Whatever. It's true. Because anything we need, I'm just like, all right, give me a second, let me print it up.
And that Gonzo have a file, please.
So, all right, let's switch over to media. If you also want some information on 3D printing, you're more than welcome to contact us and let me know. I just set up a friend of mine with his first 3D printer, and it was just a FDM printer, not a resin printer. So, and he's already started printing a bunch of stuff, and he's like, "Oh, the things that I will do." Yes, you will be printing a ton of stuff. All right, so media section for the people who don't know, they're people the first time here. We do have two different ratings for our system, and one is from Casablanca to Cats. Casablanca being near perfect to perfect movie, Cats being the worst movie ever made. And then we have our space herpes rating. Fewer space herpes, the better, because who wants space herpes? Not us. So we're gonna rate movies. I'm gonna start off with something that I was very disappointed. So I'm gonna start off on a downer. I watched the new Beetlejuice movie. Beetlejuice. Yeah, it was not good. It was not good at all. It tried to pull in the nostalgia. It tried to pull into that, and like the movie just did hit any. It was like, let's just throw a bunch of shit at the screen and hopefully the plot sticks. Here's this, here's these 8 different things in the story that none of them intersects and none of it happens and it doesn't work. I mean, the very beginning, there's a part where this person is supposed to be the entire story of the entire thing and they're forgot about for like 90% of the movie.
Damn.
Like, I was like, what happened to this character? It's supposed to be the central plot point of what's happening in the ghost world. This was bad. I was bored. It had so many plot holes that was not a consistent story. It didn't do things right. They were just trying to catch the old flame of Beetlejuice, and it just did not work. I was very upset with that because it didn't make sense. The entire movie did not make sense at all. It's like, aha, I've got you. But see, you forgot on paragraph 4 of section 23.2 that it's null and void because of this obscure rule that we just made up out of thin air that we didn't even think about or talk about to write about early in the show, just mysteriously appears. And I'm like, there's all this MacGuffins going on. There was no, I mean, it was just bad. I was like, this may be the worst Tim Burton movie I've seen. I was
That makes
just
me
like,
sad.
yeah.
Is
and
it worse than the Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No, I actually didn't have that much of a problem with that one compared to this one. I prefer the old Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but I mean, it was just bad. The jokes did not hit. The story was all over the place. I mean, there were so many different plot lines, and none of it congealed into one. None of it happened. They were just trying to make excuses for things. It was just bad, just really, really bad. It gets a 4 space herpes. It wasn't even a meh type thing. It's like a 4 space herpes movie. Do not recommend. If you're Tim Burton fan, I'm sorry, this is a bad one.
I will still be watching it because I need to know,
Yep.
just for my own sake.
Yep.
So
I know you will.
I will report back with if I actually agree with Gonzo or not. Unfortunately, unfortunately, a little bit of both. My expectations are on the ground. So
Yeah.
I can't be disappointed because my expectations are so low.
Well, you can be disappointed. It's just it can be worse than what you think. I was just very, very disappointed in how everything went. It was not good. So other than that, Mizzy, what do you got?
Well, I just had it. Oh, our show. So Monday, Disney Plus released this amazing new show is set in the Star Wars universe, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Holy fucking shit, yes!
No spoilers, because we know people are still trying to watch it.
Cannot spoil it, but
I'm waiting for it all to come out and then I'll binge it.
no, you need to watch it now. It's so good.
But I'm already watching like 6 other shows right now.
But I need to gush about this one particular character. Okay? I need you to understand how important this one character is to me. Okay? Gonzo
Okay.
knows. Because he's the one who told me about it in the first place. And he said, spell out this name and then tell me what it says. And I lost my shit. Okay?
Oh yeah. He did that to me on Wednesday and I figured it out immediately.
So fucking good!
You're talking about Smee.
No, SM33.
Whatever.
I'm talking about SM33.
I'm going to call it Smee for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It will forever be Smee.
Episode 2, Chef's Kiss of everything to do with Smee. I love that. Yes. So right now, for me, it's 0. Like, I'm really excited to continue watching this.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in the first 2 episodes, by the way. There's the Michael Jackson Captain EO or whatever it was. One of his pets is in there. One of the pirate characters was in The Mandalorian. So there's a bunch of different hidden Easter eggs in this that they put in. Of course, SM33 is a play on Smee. So there's a bunch of different ones, and there's a list. People have got a list of what the Easter eggs that are happened in the first 2 episodes. So
Yeah,
you'll have to
I'll
sit-
be sure to watch breakdowns.
Yeah.
So.
So
I'm really excited to learn more about the kids and all their stories and everything, especially with KB in particular. She's really interesting to me, so looking forward to that.
that's the least used character right now, in my opinion.
But
She doesn't
that's
have
why
a lot
I
of
want to know
lines.
more.
Yeah. She's the least talked about character and least used character in the first 2 episodes. She had very little lines, but they weren't bad. It's just we know the least about KB.
I feel like she's gonna be important.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I want her to be important. And Neo is a precious baby, and I will not be taking arguments, or I will fight you. Because Neo is precious baby.
Nerd?
I watched the finale of season 6 of Boulet Brothers Dragula, and it was amazing. This whole season was like so crazy good. Like just the level of talent seemed to just be taken up a notch. The costumery, like some of the concepts, like okay, so in the finale, it's a horror-based drag show, and in the finale they have 3 categories. They have horror, they have filth, and they have glamour. And the filth one, I could like generally I do not enjoy watching. So there was a lot of turning my head during that part of the episode. But the costumes that the top 3 made for this finale were so incredible. Like just the artistry, the wigs, just gems everywhere, just sparkly, 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 and I was totally here for it. Yeah. The person I wanted to win didn't win, but the person I expected to won. So I wasn't like I'm not one of those that gets super disappointed when the person I want to doesn't win. It's just like, okay, no, they like I would have been happy if any of the top 3 had won. They all deserved it. It's a reality show. I don't really know how to rate it. But it's definitely one of the best seasons they've had yet. They also earlier in the season had their 3rd D&D episode, and it was much more, I think it was Underdark themed, but the person who dressed as a troll was 100% WoW inspired, and like from the hair to the teeth and the tusks and everything, it was so good.
Yeah.
And there was goblins galore this season too, so I'm in. Gonzo?
Before we go any further, I would like to say there is a Skeleton Crew Lego set, and we get the name of the ship. Onyx Cinder is the name of the ship. Um, I'll send this to Mizzy because she'll be freaking out when she sees it. But they have minifigs, and it's the minifigs of all the Skeleton Crew. But so they'll be there, and the set looks pretty cool. But we know the name of the ship is the Onyx Cinder.
Yes.
So,
Kayla's precious baby.
yeah. So this week I caught up on a bunch of TV shows. Skeleton Crew, or not Skeleton Crew, Lower Deck. The new episode of that hit, and that episode was geared around the Upper Deck crew. So it was a story about the Upper Deck crew, not the Lower Deck crew this time. As we know, this is the series ending for Lower Deck, and so they're going to be, it's going to be kind of piecemealed, and I'm sure we'll get, an ending that's not going to be a true ending, but it's going to be, hey, they're going to continue to do stuff. But this episode was fine. It was concentrating on the Upper Deck, the people on all the high command people and what they do and such. And it was a good episode. Nothing wrong with it. Skeleton Crew has been, or I should say, Lower Deck has been really good. This season, this series to me, I think needed to happen because not only is it comedic, it talks about people that you don't see on Star Trek because it's always about, the bridge crew, and seeing these people that have to do shit jobs is always fun. I think the series was much better the beginning of the season than it is now because they were living in bunks and so on and so forth, and they were really considered lower decks then. But television shows got involved. Nothing wrong with that. I'm enjoying it. Still good. It'll be sad to see it go, but I would rather see it go on a high note than jump the shark. So,
Valid.
Mizzy?
So I can't really rate this one because it's just kind of a chill show. But we started to watch Is It Cake Holiday Edition. So some good fun there. Basically people build cakes to look like realistic objects, and then
that's cool.
and then judges have to pick out which one's cake and which one is the actual thing. And if they guess the realistic one being cake, then people win things, and it's really cool. So if you like baking stuff and like watching people, make awesome stuff, then I highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah, that is, it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, Netflix.
Pretty much what they did is they took an internet phenomenon that people were doing and turned it into a TV show.
Yep. Lots of fun though.
Yeah. Nerd?
I started season 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and this is the season in which Spike gets introduced. And I've only watched the first part of it. We got up the first few episodes in until Spike's introduction, and it's like fun. I've watching it with people who've seen it, and so like I have to beg for no spoilers for some things. Like sometimes I don't mind. The show is also
Many, many years old.
yeah, X number of year, well, it's many years old. But so much of it is new to me. Like I like to learn about the behind the scenes stuff, but not plot. Like that's the kind of nerd that I am. I love to know about how things are made, connections between actors and other roles, or like links, like story inspiration. But it's been fun so far. It's so 90s. It is so campy and 90s, and I'm enjoying it more than I probably would have had I tried watching this when I was like 16, 17 years old, because I was very anti Sarah Michelle Gellar. She wasn't my Buffy because I had grown up with the movie. And then now watching the series, I'm like, okay, I can get into this. This is fun. So, so far I'm giving it like a 1.5 because it's not the greatest thing on the planet, but it's fun.
The greatest
Gonzo?
thing.
Yeah, so that's the reason why. I mean, people keep telling me to watch Babylon 5, and I can't get into Babylon 5 right now. I never got to watch it when it originally came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to. It'll be something in there, but I'm trying to get into it. I just can't get into it right now.
I struggled with that one too.
So, did what was another one? I also did the Is It Cake with Mizzy also because watching it together. Something that I'm looking forward to, and it is coming December 19th, so not very far, which is going to be the final season of Dragon Prince.
I am so ready.
Yes.
You get Netflix back.
Yeah. So, can't wait for it. That's something I'm desperately waiting. I still wish someone would run the RPG because I can't really really want that. But I'm really glad that shows are getting endings and not just being hung out there. Doesn't mean that they have to, but it makes it a whole lot easier whenever we have a show getting an ending to it. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. Um, I hope they give us a good ending. I hope they end it too, and maybe later on down they pick it up again for either a spin-off or in the future, blah blah blah. We don't know, and it kind of goes the way of the Avatar series, where next generation of people in that world type thing. So I don't know. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Mizzy?
Uh, we watched the little extra Star Wars Skeleton Crew where they were talking with the directors and like how it all came together and all that fun stuff. So if you're jonesing for more Skeleton Crew, Disney Plus has this little separate thing that they've got up there that's really cool to check out. Some behind the scenes stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes, and it talks about all the directors. I mean, Jon Favreau's in it. The director that did the new Spider-Man series. There's a ton of directors and executive producers, so it's nice to see all the people.
They got some powerhouses in there.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was funny is I was talking to one of my coworkers, and her sister's a major Star Wars fan, and I asked her if her sister started watching it. She said she wasn't going to watch it because it wasn't made by Jon Favreau and all this other stuff. And I went, send her this. He's the executive producer on this, so yes, he is on it. And she's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yep." And so
There
that's
you go.
happening.
Go watch it.
Nerd, you got anything?
Yeah, I started rewatching. My partner's never seen Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, so we watched the first 3 episodes of that the other night. And again, that's another fun one to revisit. It came out in 2016. I didn't realize it's that old already.
Yeah, yeah.
But that is probably one of my favorite Elijah Wood roles ever. It's fun, it's quirky. I love the first season. Um, we'll see. I'll see how I remember how well I remember season 2. But there's just so many good moments, and I give it like half because it has its flaws, but I really really like that series.
It is very, very different, and
It is. It's
very
very quirky but
correct.
dark at the same time.
Yes, very quirky and dark,
It
but
has
fun.
moments of whimsy, but for the most part, definitely on the darker side.
Yep, I agree.
And just straight up weird in the best ways. Mizzy,
Yes.
or sorry, Gonzo, we're back to you.
I started watching Dan to Dan, which is on Netflix. It's an anime. Um, yeah, it's just not growing on me. Um, the episodes are hit or miss right now, and sometimes it's some of the episodes nothing really happens, and I'm like, really? Can we do something a little bit better? Um, artwork is just okay, anime is just okay. It's just there. I'm not entirely, sold on it. So I don't know. I'll probably watch it, and I mean, it's apparently it's really popular, and a lot of people are cosplaying it, and so on and so forth. But it's just not doing it for me. Mizzy?
Not something that I can rate, but just an observation that thanks to Apple Music and everybody's Spotify wraps for the year, I found out that I listened to over 73,000 minutes of music this year so far. Because musics and hyperfixation.
Ooh.
And my top song was Lose Your Baby from Has Been Hotel.
Hell yeah.
Good times.
It's a good one. Speaking of Has Been Hotel, I started watching or started and finished season 1 of Hell of a Boss this week. I love it. I've had House of Asmodeus stuck in my head all day. I am looking forward to the emotional roller coaster that is season 2, I am told. But much like Has Been Hotel, great characters. I smacked myself for not recognizing Richard Horowitz immediately as Moxie, and he's the guy who voiced Invader Zim. And how I did not make that connection. I'm just like, oh, it's somebody that sounds like him. No, it's him.
And
But
now
like
you
that's
understand. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was gonna say I love all the little cameos like Kesha and Norman Reedus and Jinx Monsoon does a bunch of voice acting for it as well.
Mhm.
And I am loving it. It is dark humor at its best. I give it 0.
Nice.
I was gonna say now you understand why I identify as Millie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I'm a Millie.
Yeah, especially when she's swinging that big ass axe around. Every
Yeah.
character in that show is a badass in their own way, and I love that about it.
Yes.
Though I definitely have a soft spot for Stolas.
Everyone has a soft spot for Stolas.
Yeah. He is bae.
Yes.
Also, I love owls. So,
Mm-hmm.
Gonzo?
I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, Silo. It is on Apple TV. Silo is a story about people that have been living underground for a long time because the Earth got destroyed, and of course all the politics going on and the controlling of people controlling other people in this. This is season 2, where someone actually gets out of the silo and actually doesn't die right away. So this is what happens after it. So we're kind of looking at it, kind of going over it. So far, it's been pretty decent. It's not bad. I hope they don't push the whole, I hope they don't bog down the story and just concentrate on small things the whole time. I hope that they go and bring it bigger and broader, and we talk about more that's going on. But so far, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It'll be good to see some more. I don't know how many more seasons we're going to get, but so far I'm okay with it. Hopefully, season or 2 and we'll be done. Because it is after a book, and I would like to just see, like this, I like series to have an end. Don't, jump the shark or end it on a cliffhanger. Mizzy?
I got that. That's all I got.
Nerd?
That's all I got.
As I said, copious amounts of Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
Make
that's
it a wink.
pretty much what all I've been
Copious
doing
amounts
too.
of lots of different shows. I've watched so many episodes of so many things this week.
Yeah.
You should be proud of me. I had
I'm
things to
so
talk about.
proud of you. You did a great job.
And none
nerd.
of it, I didn't sit on my couch for any of it.
Because you were too busy hanging out with all your people.
I would much rather watch things with people and than by myself.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Totally happy just coexisting with people.
I love having watch parties. Oh, the other I can talk a little bit about rewatching campaign 1 of Critical Role with people who've never watched Critical Role before outside of the animated series. We only got through like half an episode because we ended up having show and tell with all of the Critical Role merch that we own. A few of us. But no, that's been kind of fun, but I can't really rate that. So we just started with the Briarwood art because that's where the cartoon picks up. So
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Guys, that's our episode for the day. We appreciate everybody listening. We're gonna send you off to our good friend of ours, Grim. Where you can go watch him play some video games. But
Yep, it's his affiliate anniversary today. Yay!
yay! So, guys, as always, please make sure that you look after each other. Check in on your people. This is the holiday time. It's not always the best time for people, so we want to make sure that we give everybody a good good talk to. Just check on everybody. Even the smallest little hey, how's it going can change someone's day. So, for More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Nerd.
Now, Mizzy.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/More Than Dice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.